everyone. Today we speak about spending time. Hi, bros. Today I want to speak about spending time. I'm Abdullah, and my full name is Usman Abdullah. I'm from Uzbekistan, and why all people play PUBG games? Why they're spending time? If you play in the childhood, you play games, you will be a very poor person in the world. If you spend your time only study, you will be a very rich person in your life. Why you are spending your time for games? Why? Because you are very young, you want to play. Why? Because if you play games in English, you can't play game in English language. Why? Because you don't know any languages. Why? Because you don't study. You don't reading books. Why? Because you want to play games. Why? Because you want to spend your time in only games. Don't study. Don't reading books. Why? Because you want to always play. What? I have one little brother. He's 3 years old, and she now English very well. I think why she is now English very well, because she spends his time very good. He always reading. Why? Because in my family I have parents and my 2 brothers, and I have one big brother and one little brother, and my big brother helps to my little brother always reading books for studying for all things. I think this is very good. This is not spending time. If you spend your time, you waste your time. What do you do in the future, huh? What wanna doing? What wanna doing? I think you are being a very bad person in the world. If you spend your time only studying, only reading books, you will be a very rich person in your life. Why? Because you are always reading. In future, you are being a very rich and go to America. You being own cars, own house, own a big castle. Why? Because you're spending your time only in the studying, the reading, don't in a PUBG games. I think PUBG games is a very bad thing in the world. Why? Because I have a score 7. Why? Because I'm studying. I'm 9 years old. Why? It don't mean age. It means study. It means mind. Why? Because I always studying, and I have mom. He always help me. Always to reading. Always to studying. I have a one brother. He too helps me. Why? Because he knows English. Why? Because he in the childhood only reading books, only studying, don't playing games. Why? Because he's want to be in a very good and very rich person in the world. I wanted to be a very rich person in the world. Why? Because I'm always studying, and I want to help to poor persons. Why? Because they don't study. Why they're poor? Because they don't study. They play games, only play games. If they're just in the childhood only reading books, only studying, they will be a very good and very rich person in the world. Why I'm speaking English very well? Because I have one teacher called Mr. Frank, and all teacher John Bigdon, they always help me. I think they're very good persons. Why? Because they help me. They help to all students. Come to Rayhon Beruniy school, and you'll be very good school. Why? Because I'm studying in this school. Why? Because my father director in this school, and she said me, if you study reading books, you will be a very rich person in the world. If you only studying, don't playing games, don't other things, don't go to karaoke, don't go to and others. Why? Because don't smoking. Why? Because if you smoke, you will be a very poor person. Why? Because you're smoking. Smoking, what does it means? You now in childhood. If you're smoking in your childhood, you will be a very bad person in the world. Why? Because smoking is very bad for lungs. And why? Because they're very bad. Why? All people drink alcohol. Why? Because they want to very bad child. Why? Because they don't study in their childhood. Why? I have one how I say. Uncle, I say, and he's a very poor. Why? Because he always play game. Always only play game. If you being very good and very good, only speaking in English, don't Uzbek language, don't another language, only English, you will be a very rich person in the world. I think please subscribe in this channel and set likes. Thank you for the